All right, all right, all right. We are live from the War Room alongside Chris Schroyer. I'm Srikar and going live today. Dana just made some fight announcements. Some we already knew, some we didn't. We'll start off with the one that was already confirmed, or not already confirmed, but everyone had eyes on it from the jump. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena has been confirmed. UFC 322, November 15th, Madison Square Garden. Definitely a fight that matches the scale of the venue. I will say that. And the co-main event as well. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili trying to attempt double champ status. Again, these are two super fights. You look at MSG as a venue for literal legendary fights over the years, whether in boxing or MMA. Obviously, last year's MSG card didn't really resemble that in the slightest, at least for me. But that depends how you feel about John Jones and Stipe Miocic. But this one, I definitely think lives up to where it's being held. This is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, me and Chris have had our conversations about where we lean in this fight, where we think the stylistic advantages are for either men. But Chris, right off the bat, main and co-main, you're in New York. You're literally in Long Island.
Yeah,
what you think, man? You ready to drop these bucks, bro?
So right now, money is money's a little bit of a little hard to come by for Chris. But
me too, bro.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll manage, but that's why you save up money so you can do things like this. But yeah, I've been to one UFC event before. I think I've said it before in some of the other videos. It was UFC Long Island, the first one in UBS Arena, where the Islanders play in on the Belmont tracks. That was absolutely amazing. That was Brian Ortega versus Yair, their first fight. But yeah, I've never been to a pay-per-view. I really wanted to go. I was gonna go to Merab versus O'Malley. O'Malley too. But this card so much better. I'm willing to drop $1,000 to go to this. I think the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric, and it's the mecca of fighting, man. It can't get much better than Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. It lives up to the name. I'm telling
predictions.
you.
I'll give you some predictions. I'll give you my early lean. Right now, I got JDM and I got Valentina Shevchenko. I don't think anyone achieves double champ. Obviously, a lot could change from now until November, but the way I look at it, JDM's boxing is so crisp. His takedown defense is good in the sense that he can scramble really well. And I mean, obviously, Bilal was shooting in that fight. I think that's a common misconception. Yep. Islam will definitely be a lot tougher with the wrestling, but I don't think it's going to be as easy to hold JDM down, especially when Islam's moving up a weight class. And, you know, JDM's a natural welterweight. He's naturally got size. So I could see JDM taking a 48-47 decision. I could see him getting a late finish, maybe. As for Valentina and Zhang Weili, it's kind of the same thing where I feel like size is definitely going to matter. Valentina Shevchenko, well, both of these women are so skilled. And I've gone on record saying I think this is a more skilled title fight than Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes, which is another super fight that could be coming soon. But I think Valentina gets it done. Zhang Weili on the feet definitely has the upper hand. But I think when it comes to the wrestling, again, Zhang Weili moving from 115 to 125, she's going to be a small flyweight, like a pretty small flyweight. But in terms of if it stays on the feet, Zhang can crack. We know this. But she's gotten very, very adept at doing the wrestling lately. And I just don't think that's waters you want to tread with Val. By the way, can't remember which one said the White House card wasn't going to happen. Do you think it's going to happen now? Yeah, that was me. I still don't think it's going to happen.
What more do you want, Srikar? Like, what more do you want?
Val got an inch on Weili in height, but I think in terms of overall size, and we look at Zhang bulking up to that 125 limit,
mass
I think it'll be a little bit different. Is Islam going to open as an underdog for this one?
No. The line was already set, like the what is it, like figurative line? I believe I saw it at Islam minus 220. JDM was plus 170. Now that the fight is confirmed, DraftKings and FanDuel will start offering that. I think they were before, and I'll actually check right now and see if any sharp money has come in on either side. But I'll give my predictions quickly. I've been saying it past couple episodes, even a month before. Srikar knows. I think JDM is taking it. Look, I went against Hamzat for the DDP fight that happened 2 weeks ago. And it's really scaring me because I don't want to do that again. Because Islam, I feel like it's almost the same trap. But JDM is way better than Dricus, in my opinion. We saw the takedown defense. Dude hits like a Mack truck. Boxing crisp as ever. Some of the most crisp boxing we've ever seen in UFC history. And if he has takedown defense with that, I saw Islam is sitting at 190 right now, which good for him. He is bulking. He was having problems to bulk before. I know that, but clearly those issues have been resolved. But I just think JDM is just a bigger guy, and it's not going to be as easy to ragdoll him as Islam's been ragdolling some of these other guys. And then I got Valentina against Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili is going to make it a great fight. They are two of the most well-rounded technical women's MMA fighters ever, in my opinion. And there's going to be a lot of scrambles. They're not going to be afraid to strike with each other. And I think Weili's really going to take it to Val. And after that Manon fight, we saw Val struggle a little bit, but Manon was just a much bigger fighter, lengthier. She did have a little bit more mass, but I think this is going to be really a super fight. And Dana White said it, 2 super fights in one of the best places to have a fighting event on earth.
Yep.
Fireworks.
They both walk around 135. Val doesn't cut a lot. Still got Valentina though. Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
And again, this could change from now until November. I'd honestly go as far as saying JDM on a technical level is the best welterweight boxer of all time. But that's a discussion for another day. I think JDM will touch him up. Definitely a fight of the year contender, as Vinayak pointed out. That could be a fight of the year contender for sure. I think it's going to be a war. Especially when we look at the JDM Bilal fight again. I think that's a fight that I go back to pretty recently. Edwards Prates, that's one I forgot to mention. Leon Edwards taking on Carlos Prates at welterweight. That is a good fight. I don't know if I got Edwards though.
I don't. I got Nightmare.
I think the thing that's going for Leon is that he's facing a striker now, and he's been able to out technical strikers in the past. But I think Prates is just different, bro. I think the reach advantage is going to be on his side. I don't know if he's going to knock him out. I think Leon could survive 3 rounds if it stays on the feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to bet against Prates at this stage, though. But we saw what technical striking and good counter striking did against him with that Ian Gary fight. And if you're going off that fight alone, then I could see why you would take Leon. I think that's pretty fair. And good for Leon, man. He doesn't have to go up against a wrestler or grappler in this one. Getting Bilal and Brady back-to-back is brutal, but I do think he wanted to face a striker here, whether it was Gary or it was Prates, and he got Carlos Prates. Fortunately or unfortunately is yet to be seen. This is fraud check year. It doesn't make sense, but it's fraud check year, so I got Edwards via 30-27 wrestling decision. But I think Ian Gary already did that. You know what I mean? Like I think not necessarily a fraud check, but like Ian Gary already gave Prates the loss that he needed to continue to thrive in his UFC career and develop. So I think we're past that stage now.
Yeah, fighting nerds are different in the UFC, and Prates is their sole loss as an entire gym. So just goes to show their prowess and what they've been doing since they've all made their mark, and they've all come through Contender Series too, which I think is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I would say this could be a fraud check. This is more, I wouldn't say it's a fraud check. I would say it's more of a heat check to see where Prates really is. Just came off one of the best knockouts we've seen in a long time against Jeff Neal at the buzzer, that is too. So, it'll be definitely an interesting, and Srikar, you mentioned it. Edwards is finally getting a pure striker, not someone that is well-versed and can do everything. And we've seen him struggle with wrestlers and grapplers in the past. Obviously Usman, Brady, Bilal. So that really is kind of a downfall for him if you really want to take the fight to him that way. And it's almost a surefire victory, even though Leon is a good wrestler, which it kind of makes no sense to me when I see him get dominated by other wrestlers. I'm like, dude, you can wrestle. Like, you're good at wrestling.
Yeah.
But regardless, he will finally be in an advantageous position. And I think the UFC just wants fireworks with this. They want to see Leon come out of the gate firing, put himself back on the map and come back from those 2 brutal losses. He got dominated in both of them. So It'll be interesting to see. But Prates said he's going to retire as soon as he wins the belt. Yeah, no, he's not. He's 26. That's like a Ohio
no
rumor.
fighter ever retires.
I was going to say
Islam is not retiring if he wins the belt.
Hamzat said he was going to do that. He's not retiring.
Hamzat's not retiring. I don't even think Poirier is really retired for real. Like there's still an itch, man. If there's an itch, he will come back. I don't think any fighter really retires for real.
There's no amount of money that can be put in your face except for Khabib. Did you see that he was offered $35 million to come back and fight and he declined?
Yeah, Khabib I think there's few exceptions, and Khabib is one of them. But as for the rest, it's like you never really rule it out. You do know Prates has over 100 fights in Muay Thai, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Izzy had 80 fights in kickboxing and he's still going.
And he's still going. Like, yeah, I don't think it's the biggest thing, but that actually brings up an interesting question. Out of the big four fighting nerds, which is Bohayo, Prates, Silva, and Houfi, whom out of those guys do you think holds the belt, if any at all? Do you think 2, 3, 1, 4? How many do you think hold that belt?
Oh, like out of all of them?
Out of all of them.
Okay. I would say at least 2 of them. And it could be at one time.
Yeah, I agree. I think at least 2 are going to get it done.
I think the best position, excuse me, let me rephrase that. I think that the 2 fighting nerds that are in the best position and honestly have the most potential, in my opinion, my honest opinion, Jean Silva.
Yeah.
And Mauricio Rufy.
Maybe, yeah.
I think Rufy is insane, and I don't know how he hasn't gotten skyrocketed yet. I think the UFC is actually playing it right with him and just letting him build the highlight tape. And Srikar, we've talked about that too. It's like sometimes the UFC just rushes these guys in, just feed them, softballs so they can just build a highlight tape, get their hype out there. The thing is, like, I want to say Prates and I want to say Caio. Actually, I mean, the thing is, I don't see Caio beating Hamzat, and I don't see.
I think honestly, of all the 4 middleweight contenders that are there, I think Caio does have the best shot. But it's literally Caio or bust. Like if Caio doesn't win it, Hamzat's beating everyone.
Right.
But I do agree, John Silva. I think that fight with Volk is going to be crazy. But John Silva's the truth. I was watching some Silva tape the other night, man. This guy's good.
Be able to get through it. He should be able to get through Lopez.
Yeah, I think he beats Lopez, and I think, dude, that Volk fight is really intriguing. So the way I think it's going to be set up is if John Silva does beat Diego Lopez like we expect, I think they're still going to set up Volk and Lerone Murphy, but I think the winner of that will fight John Silva next.
Silva, yeah. I feel like Lerone's made himself undeniable right now.
Yeah. Lerone should get the shot.
That was a great win, and that's what you want to do as a fighter. You want to put yourself in the position where the UFC physically cannot say no to you. Like obviously they can because they can do whatever they want, but
they'd feel like it's like they're missing out on something.
Exactly. They're missing out on a massive fight.
I think RDR has the best chance of beating Hamzat because Hamzat's striking looked horrible and RDR could actually wrestle and he has way better striking. Dude,
I think honestly, RDR and Fluffy, that's why they set up that fight.
I'm not going to lie, with both of these fights, with Caio and Imavov, obviously our breakdown is coming, our predictions are coming next week. I don't know who I'm picking between Caio and Imavov, and I don't know who I'm picking between RDR and Fluffy. Like, I think these are 2 of the toughest fights to pick all year. Like, I genuinely don't know who's winning either of them. But if Caio wins, man, if Caio beats Imavov, he could beat Hamzat. He could. I wouldn't pick it to happen. Would I? Just to be different?
Dude, after that, no. I literally, Hamzat doesn't even have to strike and he can win.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's going to be interesting. But back to who are we talking about? Carlos Prates. Prates.
The fighting nerds and who has the best shot.
Yes. So Mauricio Rufy also fights next week. I think he's going to steamroll BSD, put it like that. After that, I want to see him in this lightweight Shark Tank. I think it's going to be really interesting when we see a Rufy versus like, who would he even get? Who would he even get? If
I wanted to initially see Rufy versus Chandler.
That would be good. And Chandler would take it, especially if Fufi beats BSD, because it would put Chandler in a decent position.
Right, but now I feel like Chandler's too far down the rankings after losing to Patty for it to kind of be meaningful for Rufy. Like, I feel like if he beats BSD and kills BSD, like Chandler's 12, BSD is 13. So if Rufy wins, I mean, you could set that up, but hey, who knows? Maybe we could see a Rufy versus Beneil Dariush.
Which, by the way, we got no lightweight news tonight. We didn't get any. Yeah. We don't know what's happening with Arman Sarukian. He's been on Twitter saying whatever and saying that he's locked in tomorrow. So I thought we were going to get an Arman announcement tonight. And I thought we were going to see Arman versus Dan Hooker at UFC 321. That's where I thought it was leaning. And I still think that's where it's leaning. Arman's just got to take a fight. We got nothing about Gaethje and Ilya. We got nothing about Patty. So lightweight was pretty much kept on the back burner tonight. I think Chandler is still waiting for the Conor fight at the White House. I'd hope not. I would really hope not.
Chandler, I love you, bro. For your own mental sake, just move on.
Just move on from Conor. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard because it is the literal money fight. Like, you will get a bankroll off that. But it's just not going to happen. And I don't think Conor is even interested in fighting you anymore, especially now that you've kind of lost some of the steam for that fight by losing to Patty and losing to Oliveira and all the stuff that's happened in recent years with Michael Chandler, including the layoff, not to mention.
Yep.
It's just the odds aren't looking as great the more you take fights with these other guys. And I just think you should lean that way. But hey, Chandler's not a guy to, he's always calling out Conor. He's always trying to pitch his shot for it. And I get it. You always want to put yourself in that position. I just think that if Conor comes back, I think he's fighting Nate Diaz. I'll put it that way. I think that is the only fight where he may not get smoked. You know what I mean? Like, I do think Conor gets smoked in his return, but if he fights Nate Diaz has just as equal a chance of getting smoked as Conor does. And the hype is there. Everyone's going to want to see it. So I think your Diaz 3 Conor Diaz 3 is what will go down.
I like that pun there. Diaz, Conor getting smoked. Nick Diaz smoking.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Conor has re-entered the drug pool, though. I think this is the best chance of the fight happening. He's re-entered the drug pool, but it doesn't guarantee that it'll be Chandler and Conor. He's just trying to get
a lot of fighters re-enter the drug pool, and I mean, clearly, you've seen his videos online. Dude looks like he's on a little something else that shouldn't be on. So, John Jones stuff, but
he looks terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, look, he wants to come back and he's serious about it. It's Conor McGregor. He's gonna sell millions of pay-per-views.
And I do think Conor has a better chance of being on that White House card than John Jones, especially if
Dana was right about that.
So I think Conor actually has I don't think John is ever coming back to fight. I'm putting it that way. He's just going to keep posturing. He'll try and make his little money by hyping up all his fanboys, and then
it's all for the clicks.
All for the clicks.
I just went into a little wave of depression. I'm looking at my TV, and I'm a Cowboys fan. If anyone watches football, Micah Parsons getting traded today was a very, very, very sad day for me. Very sad. But aside from that, we're an MMA podcast. We don't need to talk about my hardships outside of MMA. That's why I love MMA. And I was explaining this to my mom. She's like, why do you like this sport? It's so violent and whatever. And why do you want to go spend $1,000 to go watch this pay-per-view? And I said, look, dude, it's just a trade. Move on. Thank you, bro. I've been trying, Vinayak. It's hard. It's hard, man.
Conor versus Islam. If Islam beats JDM, would be sick. That fight hype would be crazy, even though Islam would kill him. But still, the hype would definitely be there, especially with the Khabib storyline running through it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not giving Conor a title. Like, there's no way they give Conor a title shot.
But so what I was saying is, my mom was like, why do you want to spend all this money to go to a pay-per-view? And then I explained it to her, and she understood what I was trying to say. I said, look, let's say you spend $200 to go to a football game, a baseball game, and your favorite team loses. Sometimes in the back of your head, you're like, I just wasted money to go watch them and they lost. The beauty of a pay-per-view or an MMA card is each fighter is like a different team. So one of my teams can win and another one can lose, but it kind of evens out because it's like 3 of my favorite fighters can win, 3 of my favorite fighters lost, but I still feel happy because I saw my favorite people win. So it's like
it all depends who you bet on.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that dude also depends how much money you
where your money lies.
But she understood it. No, she did understand after I said that. I explained them like each fighter's a different team, so technically my teams can go like 10-3 if I did good. And
people don't realize like when you're paying for UFC tickets, and obviously I don't agree with the prices. I think the prices are egregious.
Yeah, it's inflated.
If you're buying tickets for a UFC event, I feel like you're paying for 6 hours worth of your time.
Yeah.
And 6 hours worth, if you're a big UFC fan, then it's worth your time, obviously, because you're gonna go in and you're gonna watch the fights. And whether it's bad or not, you're gonna be invested. So it's 6 hours worth of your investment. Meanwhile, at a football game or whatnot, you're there for probably 2-3 hours, and then you're out of there. So you're basically paying double the money to go to a premier event. I mean, pay-per-views only happen once a month, and you're getting 6 hours worth of your time. Unless you're one of those people that only goes for the main card, and you're not a Theo Vaughn who goes for the whole thing. I'm more of a Theo Vaughn. I'll go for the whole thing if I need.
I feel like it's ludicrous to buy a ticket and show up for the main card,
especially if it's like $1,000. Like I'm gonna be there.
I wish I had that kind of money, but also I'm an MMA nerd. Like I love watching the first fights of the night are some of the best fights usually because these are the people fighting for their livelihoods and another contract. Like they have nothing guaranteed for them.
Yeah, so, going to a UFC event is definitely chaotic. It's chaotic.
Awesome. It's a very like Srikar. When you went to 317, he was texting me. He's like, dude, I've never experienced like this type of environment.
It's still the best live sporting event I think I've ever went to. You know, you had people from all over the world come in. I met a dude who was right behind me. I forgot his name. I think his name was like Ice or something. He was from Ghana. He literally came out his first UFC event from Ghana. We chopped it up for like the entire prelims and, you know, half of the main card just chatting about who we thought was going to win between Royval and Van. And then when Van just starts Royval in that third round, I was like, bro, we were going crazy. Like, we're having such a good time. Like, that's the joy of being at a UFC event. And obviously you can get that at other sporting events too, but I feel like the hype is just unmatched. I heard on Twitter the UFC wants to make Walter Walker versus Muhammad Usman. Are they out of their mind? Yeah, Muhammad Usman is the next heel hook victim, man. he is the next one. I think that fight got confirmed for Rio. So we're going to get Walter Walker on that Rio card. They're going to lose their minds seeing Walter Walker heel hook Muhammad Usman.
Dude, he's ridiculous. He might be one of the best BJJ guys in terms of like size that I've ever seen.
I don't understand. Are you sure he wasn't undercover? No, he wasn't undercover. Thank God I have citizenship here. So I was chilling there.
That's funny, bro.
But I was like, dang, your name is Ice? I've never heard that before. And he's like, yeah, that's my name. And I was like, I don't know.
Dope.
Take that casually. I'm like, all right, bet. His name is Ice. But what other fights got announced? UFC 321.
I was gonna say, you think it's a snooze fest? John DeRoba versus Mackenzie Dern. I don't think I ever thought I would say Mackenzie Dern in a title fight in my life. No disrespect to her, I just never saw it happening.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the past live stream. Vinayak was here. If you were here, then you probably heard this already. This fight just doesn't move me in any way. Like, it just doesn't compel me. And I feel like they've put this fight together pretty early because I feel like Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos is happening next week or in 2 weeks at Noche. I think if Suarez beats Lemos, she should be right back in a title fight against Verna Jandiroba because think about it. That is a fresh matchup. I think it's better stylistically than Jandiroba and Dern. And you're pitting the number one contender against the number two contender. Like, it would be a former title challenger who just got the shot against the hottest name in the division in Jandiroba. That's way more. And if Lemos beats Suarez, you can throw it out the window. You can do Jandiroba and Dern. It would have been perfectly fine. But if Suarez wins, now you're in a pickle. Now you're in a situation where it's like, eh. And as a co-main, I just don't think it holds its weight as a co-main. I get it's a title fight, but there's other fights on that 321 card that I'm looking forward to. One of them being Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Bautista. Hey, every OG UFC fan was waiting for the day Mackenzie fights for the title. I get that. I'm right there with you. We are not talking about the actual fight, though. When you're saying that, we're talking about the weigh-ins. When we're talking about the actual fight, no one is going to be tapped in. We are only going to be
tapped in. They'll just be watching something other than the fighting.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. She is very bad. She is really bad.
Yeah.
Looks wise. Not skill wise. Skill wise, she's good, but looks wise,
she is.
bad.
She's one of the best BJJ fighters to ever come through the UFC.
For sure.
Literally.
For sure. And I think grappling wise, it could be fun, but like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's going to be.
Someone's going to get finished, in my opinion. I don't think it's going the distance. I really think that like John Naroba is going to wear her down, find a rear naked choke, or Dern's going to catch a triangle or in an armbar.
What you mean by that? Oh, she's very good looking.
Yeah, she's good. Oh, sorry. That's
Naroba is very, very good looking.
Forgot that people like don't understand the lingo sometimes. Like,
yeah, when I say someone's bad, it means they're good. I mean,
it's
I say random stuff all the time, man.
But yeah, I feel like this is a fight that could get finished, in my opinion.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe on the ground.
But yeah, it's not going to be standing up. If anything,
but they're both so well versed in jiu-jitsu that I feel like it might just cancel out. Like they're too good at not getting caught in submissions that like when they're both really, really good jiu-jitsu artists, I don't think either of them is going to finish the other. It's just going to be like, hopefully we get a lot of great scrambles. I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to in this fight. If they stay on the feet, this is going to be a horrible 5-round snoozer. It is going to be very bad to watch. And this is going to be my bathroom break before I literally have my palms sweaty for Aspinall and Gane. But
for what, about like 10 seconds?
I would hope so. But I'm more looking forward to Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Bautista. I think that's And listen, man, I think Mario Bautista is one of the he's the most underrated fighter at bantamweight. I feel like he gets way too much hate. I won't say underrated. I'd say he's the most overhated fighter. Whatever happened in that Aldo fight cannot be pinned against him. If Aldo wanted to get out of that, he could have gotten out of it. He didn't, and that's how Bautista won the fight. And even on the feet, Bautista was tagging him. It's not like it was just cage controlled the entire time. Like Bautista did what he had to do to win. He busted up Patchy Mix, who was the best fighter outside the UFC. Be that as it will, Patchy Mix obviously did not look good in that fight. He was pretty much a walking punching bag, but it's still two really good wins, Aldo and Patchy Mix, to have on your resume. And going into this Umar fight, I will say, do not sleep on Mario Bautista. I think Umar is going to come out as a big favorite. I think he'll come out as like a -300 favorite, something like that.
Probably.
I might take Bautista's odds. Yeah, exactly. He has potential to beat Umar.
Yep.
Umar is still very, very green. Bautista's been in here for a while. And also I feel like his wrestling and his ground game is on par to the point where he can match up with Umar well, and that he can get out of potentially dangerous situations that Umar puts him in. And if you want to talk about the wrestling, you want to talk about that Aldo fight, that actually really helps him going into this Umar fight. So right off the bat, don't sleep on Bautista. I think he definitely has what it takes to beat Umar. I don't know if that's where I'm officially leaning, but I do think the value on it is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. I'm looking at some of these future odds and I'm just like flabbergasted.
What are they?
So, well, just for the Noche main event, John Silva is -265, which is,
I think that's fair.
That makes sense. Obviously, Ankalaev is a favorite against Pereira. Merab is a huge favorite over Sandhagen. Yuri is a -200 over Khalil, which that's interesting.
I'm taking the Khalil odds, baby.
Yeah, but dude,
we are hammering those Khalil odds.
What do you think Fluffy is against RDR?
-230.
Dude, you just nailed that on the head.
I'm him.
That is crazy.
I'm actually so tough.
Yo, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I was like, first of all, that's nuts, bro. Good. Props to you, Srikar. Pat yourself on the back.
Umar's going to need to keep the fight standing. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, he will. Bautista has a really, really good submission game. A lot in the bag.
So Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili is dead even.
Good. I love that.
Yep.
I'm about to hammer Val.
And Islam versus JDM. Islam is -270.
Oh my God, free cheese. Who are the hammer plays? Hammer JDM.
Yeah.
Hammer JDM.
I think we're going with a JDM plus 225 bombski.
I would bet on Khalil, but it's Yuri. Can't bet against him unless he is fighting Alex. I get that, man, but Khalil Rountree on his best day, I will stand by this. He is the best light heavyweight in the world. I think he can beat anyone. So,
all right, we're speaking about light heavyweights right now. Did you see that Ankalaev said he wants to fight 2 more times at light heavyweight and move up to heavyweight?
Sure.
That would be crazy.
Because he would have handled business at light heavyweight. You beat Pereira twice.
Yeah.
You beat the winner of Yuri and Khalil. No matter which way you shake it, that's going to be.
And then probably Olberg versus Reyes winner after that. And then
yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I do think if
Dominic in that fight, the devastator.
Hey, if we see Rountree and Ankalaev, Rountree's gonna win. I can't. I'm picking him against everyone. I picked him against Pereira. He came this close. If he threw in some more leg kicks, I do think he would have knocked out Pereira. But it is what it is. Ankalaev wants an early retirement if he thinks he's beating Aspinall. Yeah, Aspinall would smoke him. Damn, some people going to be rich after that Islam JDM fight. Yes, me.
Chris Schroyer will be rich.
But Ankalaev will definitely get smoked by Aspinall. I feel like, and also, I've been thinking about this Ankalaev-Pereira fight a lot. That first fight at UFC 313 was the best we have seen Magomed Ankalaev. And he squeaked out a 48-47. That was Pereira on an off night, by the way. So we saw Pereira at probably his worst and Magomed Ankalaev at his best.
I definitely agree with that.
If we go into this second fight with that mindset, if Pereira is just even a little bit better than that first fight, he is going to knock out Magomed Ankalaev. Because I don't think Magomed Ankalaev will replicate that performance to a T. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to come out and have his best performance again. And if he does, props to him, kudos. But I do think Pereira, I'm ever so slightly leaning towards him, but obviously a lot can change between now and October 4th. We're going to get to it when we get to it. That's just where I lean. But when I look at this stylistically, it's very interesting. And we look at the past. I've been watching that fight. I think I've rewatched Ankalaev Pereira 1 like 3 times. And that's literally what I've taken away. That was the perfect storm for Ankalaev. And it was a thunderstorm in a horrible, horrible way for Pereira. So if the tides do turn, oh my God, I'm spitting bars. Oh my God, I'm spitting bars. What? Wow, I'm spitting bars. If the tides do turn, Pereira is going to knock him out. I was trying to think of a way to string it all together, and I was like, I couldn't do it.
Yo, you get fireworks for that. Good job.
I appreciate it. But I don't know where you were leaning, Chris.
Yeah. I think you're definitely right in terms of that was Ankalaev on probably his best day, and Pereira on one of the worst I've ever seen him perform. I think he was I think he was just underestimating Magomed because he was running through everyone. And after you do that, it's kind of hard to sit there and be like, all right, like this guy's really going to pose a threat to me, especially when it's going to be a striking battle and you're one of the best strikers in the world. You've knocked out the top of the top and the cream of the crop bar. But yeah,
bars all episode, man.
Yeah. You kind of just get in your own head, and I don't think Pereira really locked in enough. I think he thought it was going to be easy, and Magomed came out with a great game plan. I don't think Pereira was ready for 12 takedown attempts, and that really showed. And then once you get thrown into that mix of, okay, now he's a wrestling threat, he's a grappling threat. Now you're overthinking everything because you throw a leg kick. Oh, no, he can grab the leg, or as soon as I throw it, he's going to rush in and try and shoot a double leg. So it's just more about playing your own game and being true to yourself instead of, underestimating your opponent, and just go out there and do what you do no matter who's across from you. It's the same game plan every time. And I think Pereira, we're going to see a different Pereira. Like, he's plus 170 in this fight.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, like I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Unrelated to UFC, but did you see Luke Rockhold press conference? They were talking trash like crazy. Yeah.
Hey, it's combat sports related, and we're going to talk about anything combat sports related.
We can. Yeah, that was nasty. They're
Are you ready for Tony Ferguson and Salt Poppy?
Yeah, dude, I love Salt Poppy, bro. It's my guy. But yeah, no, I think
Tony's gonna die, man.
Right?
Tony.
And to Salt Poppy, like, come on.
In
No
KSI's promotion.
Poppy, like,
how far have we fallen as a fighting culture, man?
I don't know.
CSO. Jeez, man.
Right? CSO.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think Till vs. Rockhold is going to be a very good fight. Just like a lot of things going around. And I mean, like, we're talking about boxing, Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. After Tank said he was going to retire.
Absolute sham of a fight, but
yeah, I don't even know what to think about that. Like, I hope Tank wins, but 60-pound weight difference is crazy.
No, Jake is
the only person that could have got away with that was Floyd Mayweather against Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So
I'm personally not going to be watching any Jake Paul fights going into the future. I'm definitely not going to be watching this one just out of personal interest. I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, now I'll watch for Tank.
The last Jake Paul fight I watched was not indirectly, but the one against Mike Perry. And that was because I think my boy had it up on his phone. It's just not my thing. It's Tony time, baby. Perry. Tony, after getting back up for the 6th time, he's gonna get slumped. This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
If Tony wins, though, oh my god, that would be crazy. That would give me life. But it's just how can I bet on that to happen?
To be fair, Jake Paul started the end of pay-per-view. Yeah, he did.
He did, and I like that for that. But I also feel like I want to credit the streaming services for that.
Yeah, right now I'm giving all my credit to Turkey. Turkey's about to absolutely eliminate that stuff.
Nah, Turkey's the GOAT. Turkey's
the GOAT. And I think the Times Square card was just kind of like a feeling out process. It was kind of just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it would stick. It didn't really stick. A great fight. Like, it should have been better fights. I think if it had an actual environment, the fights would have been better. I mean, obviously, the Devin Haney fight, you want to talk about a snooze fest? Oh, my God. That was terrible. That was actually one of the worst boxing matches I've ever seen in my life. But I think that this really is going to be the future, and it should be, because you're going to get way more interactions, and it'll even though you're not charging for the card, it'll still wind up making you more money just off interactions and, like popularity. It's like impressions. It's like you go on social media. An impression might not be a like or a follow, but clicking on it and seeing it it's going to draw someone in, and they make money for every person that's watching it. So
exactly. And that's why I feel like the card quality is going to be better 2026 going forward on this new Paramount CBS deal, because the UFC's goal is now trying to get people to lock in on the cards and keep them there consistently. It's no longer, okay, you buy this pay-per-view to see so-and-so and so-and-so. Right. You're not looking for one or two athletes. You're looking to keep people on a subscription and keep them coming back for more. So just by that logic, they are going to stack these cards. The card quality as a whole, if you yearn for those old UFC days, COVID, pre-COVID, it's going to be that, maybe even better, because again, you have to keep them engaged, just like we have to keep you engaged on stream, which we try our best to do. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we don't. The UFC is going to do the same thing. Did you all get the Paramount subscription yet? No, I'm slacking, and I want to get it before.
No, January 1st is when I'm buying it.
Dude, I'm not waiting that long because they're gonna jack up the prices.
Yeah, but they'll just charge your credit card more. It'll be on file.
Now, I'm hoping that if I can get a subscription now, I can just be grandfathered in when they do inevitably up the subscription prices, because it's gonna go up. Inevitably, it's gonna go up.
No, I know, but I don't think they're gonna be kind enough to do that.
Like, they will. Didn't they do that with Netflix or?
Yeah, they did. No, they raised it. Like, I had Netflix at whatever it was, like $10. Now it's like 12, 13. So the thing is, so I think why putting fights on streaming services are good is because, like, let's say you tune in for one fight. You're like, all right, I don't want to watch this fight. I'm gonna wait a few fights. Boom. Now I'm gonna go watch a Netflix original, or I'm gonna go watch a CBS show on Paramount. It's gonna be so easy to flip-flop back and forth And it's not like, oh, damn, I just spent $100 for this pay-per-view. Like, now I have to watch the whole thing, or at least like feel like I'm getting my money's worth. It's like, no,
which is low key a counter argument for my point.
No,
but as long as they get the view, then it's like, okay.
100%. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I really call Paramount and negotiate $4 to $5 discount. I love doing that. I love saving money. If it's free, it's for me. This ain't free, but I'll make do.
It's not free.
Not free.
Pay-per-view is gone, but it's still not free.
Not free. Maybe I'll go get a job at CBS so they can give me a free Paramount subscription.
Oh man, let's get back on track here though. So we have the entire 321 main card laid out for us. So we have at the top Aspinall gone, then we have Vina Yonderova versus Mackenzie Dern as your co-main. Feature bout probably going to be
Volkov
versus Bautista, and then Volkov Almeida, and then Rakic versus Murzakanov to round out the main card. That is a real, I mean, Yonderova Dern aside, that is a really solid main card. Dana's thrilled with it. He's thrilled to have all ranked fighters on the main card, and it's going to be violence for sure. I think it'll be a long
time too that everyone's ranked.
Yeah, I mean, they always go big for the Abu Dhabi cards. It is what it is. I feel like this year is a little less because 308 was different. Like 308 card was absolutely insane.
308 was crazy, and I think they really went for broke with the Abu Dhabi fight night in July for RDR Whitaker. I feel like they really tried to make that almost like a pay-per-view.
And the Brazil card. They're absolutely stacking to the gills. They're starting to put a lot more focus on these international events where even if it's a fight night, they want to have it stacked so that, you cater to the international fans. But I did want to talk about 321 just for a second because we talk about Umar and Bautista and we talk about the bantamweight title picture. Let's assume Umar does get through Mario Bautista. Let's say he does it by finish. Does he jump the line for a Merab rematch or does it still go to Petr Yan?
That is tough. I personally think it should still go to Petr Yan, just because. Look, like we don't know how much. Sorry, I'm getting some texts from some of our Syracuse friends who are doing our thing there. We miss all you guys. If you guys are watching or you see this episode, we miss you guys. Throwing up love for Syracuse. Do it. Yes. I love these effects, man. They're so fun. But yeah, so I think Yan has done enough. He's also at the point in his career where it's almost like the Gaethje situation. It's like, how long does Petr Yan have left? And what else does he really have to prove? Like he got robbed in the O'Malley fight in Abu Dhabi. That was a robbery. We all know it was a robbery. I was on the right side of it financially. I still know it was a robbery. But I mean, look, he got beat by Merab, and he didn't lose to anyone else, right? It was O'Malley and Merab back to back, I believe. I'm gonna double check.
He lost to him. Yeah, he lost to O'Malley. He lost to
Merab. It was O'Malley and Merab back to back. And then he came back with 3 nice wins: Song Yadong, Davis, and Figueiredo, and they gave him an up and coming challenger in Marcus McGee, and he didn't say no. He said, awesome, like let's do it. So I think you should be rewarded for that. Anish says, Chris, I'm so sorry, but not gonna lie, y'all did really good with the trade. I know. It's just tough. I will hang my Micah Parsons jersey high.
I disagree with it being similar to Gaethje's situation because I do feel that Yan has done a little more compared to Gaethje. Gaethje got knocked out by Holloway and then beat Fiziev short notice.
But he's in this like position to honestly kind of be entitled. He's more in a position to be entitled than Gaethje.
Yan? Yeah, I do agree.
No, Yan, not Gaethje. Like he got worked by Merab.
I really hope Yan doesn't get passed over again, man, because I know everyone. If Umar goes out there and finishes Bautista, everyone's going to be like, oh, Merab's closest fight was Umar. We need to see it again. Yan got 50-45, which I'm not going to lie. In the rematch, Umar could definitely win. If Merab is going to lose, it's going to be in a rematch.
Yep, I agree.
I just think he's going to need one more. personally. He's still very young. You've got time. If you really believe in Umar, give him okay. Let's assume they do Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. O'Malley isn't done yet. People act like he's washed. I think his best is now coming. Honestly, I think he'd be better at featherweight, personally. But I feel like if he stays at bantamweight, put him up against Song Yadong. Now that you put Umar against Bautista, so you have two guys who are at the top of the division defending their rankings against Bautista and Yadong. Assuming both Umar and O'Malley get through that, do Umar and O'Malley. Do that and let Yan get his title shot. And then you have an actual title eliminator for bantamweight, like a real deal one. If O'Malley loses that, he moves up to featherweight. There's some very exciting fights for him there. If Umar loses, then, hey, maybe he wasn't ready for a Merab rematch because this is a guy that Merab has beaten twice. You know what I mean? So,
no, I agree.
Merab hardest fight was O'Malley 1, in my opinion. I think it was Umar. I definitely think it was Umar.
I do too, because I mean Umar pretty much won the first 2 rounds, then Merab locked in and just gassed him out.
Like definitely with O'Malley, you did have to worry about the striking a bit more, and the fact that he's a sniper. Like he can
actually no, wait. I'm backtracking. Merab's hardest fight was Ricky Simone.
Nah, Merab's hardest fight was Marlon Moraes.
Yeah, that too. Oh my god,
Marlon Moraes. But his hardest title fight was Umar.
Yes, I agree because he really.
I get what you're saying because with the Sean O'Malley fight, he could put Merab at range with the jab, and he could set up his counters more effectively. And Merab's goal was to crash the distance, and that whole reach advantage didn't exist with Umar.
Right.
So stylistically, I think there is an argument there, but in terms of how the fight played out, Umar was the fight where he really had to pull it out the fire. Like he really had to dig deep for that. And of course, at the end of that fight, it did feel like he was showboating a bit and he was having fun. And he's like, oh, yeah, this was easy for me. I have the cardio and everything. That was a tough fight. He had to win 3 consecutive rounds, and let alone the championship rounds, to win that fight. That is much harder said than done. Even for a guy like Merab, who has endless cardio, when you're down 2-0 in a title fight, especially going up against a guy like Umar who's super hungry, it's hard. So I do think the Umar fight was a little bit more difficult, and that's where I'd kind of give him a little bit more of an upper hand in the rematch if they were to fight, because who knows? All it took was Umar stealing 1 round. And even the rounds that Merab did take, besides 5, I think 3 was pretty close. I do think Merab won that round.
I do too. I give it to Merab.
But that was also a close round. So I wouldn't say Merab O'Malley 1 was the toughest one, but I could see stylistically where you would think that.
Yeah, no, and I mean the thing, like, so I forgot who the judges scoring the fight were, but 2 judges had it 2-0 Umar going into the 3rd round. 1 judge had it 1-1. So I think undoubtedly it was the 2nd round that went to Umar. The 1st round, I mean, I still think it went to Umar, but you just saw a different level of cardio and pace when Merab just turns it on. He literally rushes at you for 25 minutes straight. It's like, how do you keep up with that? And if you're not prepared for that, you're going to lose. And that's why I agree with you so much, Srikar, when you say Merab's going to lose in a rematch, because you almost need to feel the cardio first before you can really understand how to navigate it and prepare for it. Because you can prepare all you want, but you don't understand it until you actually feel it. You feel it. You're carrying him on your back or against the fence for, almost 20 minutes at a time sometimes. And that's why the reason I think Yan should get this fight is because, look, Merab shot 49 takedowns, 49, and he only landed 11, which is still ridiculous numbers. Do not get me wrong. But the fact that Petr Yan defended 38 takedowns is like that should speak for itself. Who is defending 38 takedowns from Merab? That is ridiculous.
It's kind of the issue with Corey Sandhagen going into this title fight at 320 against Merab. Technical skill just doesn't beat Merab. Like, no. I do think Yan is one of the most technical and most beautiful fighters to watch in the UFC, but I don't know, man. You just kind of have to sell out for the finish in round 1 and just hope for the best. If you don't get the finish in round 1, you're cooked. Because
literally.
And it sucks because the way Corey's been leaning in his last few fights is he wants to be a more technical fighter. The old Corey would have stood a much better shot against this Merab than this new version of Corey that we're seeing, because this new version is more technical and more of like, hey, now I'm going to think when I fight. Now I'm going to, do this here and do this here and actually time it all out so it makes sense. That's not going to work. That is not how you beat Merab. And honestly,
I definitely agree.
That's why Song Yadong should just go in there, bro, because Song Yadong probably is the best shot of just catching Merab with something crazy. Corey's not going to do it just because everything he said leading up to this fight indicates he's going to try and play his technical game again, and it's not going to work. And I'm so frustrated about that because Corey's been long overdue for this title shot. You know what I mean? But now that we've gotten here, this is the worst stylistic matchup for him, and it's the worst matchup for him based on his evolution over the years. So it's a little bit frustrating in that regard. But Jan is kind of the same in that fight too, because when we look at Jan Merab 1, he was trying to be too technical. He was trying to beat Merab just off technical skill, and Merab can just charge on him and out cardio him for 4 or 5 rounds. It's just how it is. So again, if Corey takes that approach, he is going to get smothered. He might even get finished.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that Corey Sandhagen is a great fighter. I've always loved him. I mean, he's really only had a few bad moments in the UFC. One was Aljamain being the human backpack and finishing him in less than 2 minutes, which was very impressive on Aljo's part. And we've seen him do it. We've seen him do it to countless people. So it's not like that was the one thing. He's not the only person that Aljo can do that to, but I think the fight against Umar with Corey was honestly just a wrestling masterclass. And he lost. He lost what? I'm pretty sure almost every round. I believe it was 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
But he was able to transition and roll with everything Umar was doing. But Umar was just putting that Merab-like pace on him. That's why when Umar was fighting Merab, I was like, oh my gosh, he just did this to Sandhagen and made Sandhagen, who's a very good wrestler, look kind of stupid. And he was just all the Dagestani wrestlers, they don't wrestle with the move they're doing. They're playing chess. They're thinking 3 moves ahead when they're wrestling. It's like, oh, I'm going to shoot here, but he's going to move here. And if he does, I'm going to do this and that. And if he doesn't, I'm going to do the X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what's so hard about their wrestling style is that it's just they're setting traps, and the traps are literally you might not do it right then and there, but in 30 seconds they know you're going to do it. So then boom, you're screwed. And I think Sandhagen did so good with rolling with everything, and I really do think he has a chance. It's just the cardio. That's the thing with Merab. Merab's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing wrestler. The striking is shaky, but it's there. I'm not going to say it's not there. Sandhagen obviously is the far superior striker in this contest. Do not get me wrong. He very versatile. He's very unorthodox too. He'll throw a flying knee or whatever. We saw against TJ Dillashaw, flying knee into an inverted triangle.
But again, it's just that's all reminiscent of the old Corey. Dude, Corey's gonna win, all right. He's gonna win via walking out to I am a real American. Nowadays that's a Sean O'Malley walked out of Born in the USA.
Yep.
That was a death sentence. Yep. It's just because American champs are cursed. Kayla is literally the only one breaking it right now.
I was going to say, I mean, Colby Covington walked out to Hulk's song with Hulk and got destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when Colby walked out to the Kurt Angle, though, that was pretty tough.
Oh, that was
tough. Give it to him.
You can say what you want about Colby. Everyone has their thoughts about Colby. He's an entertainer. He's entertaining.
For sure.
But yeah. I think Corey got it. So Corey via tripping to shrooms.
What's up, Jake? Islam by whatever he wants. By the way, let's go back to Islam for a second. Actually,
sure.
Let's say Islam. A simple question. Let's say Islam wins at beats JDM. He is the new 170 champ. Who is his first title defense?
Oof. I think it has to be one of the 3 of Gary, Brady, or Shavkat. In my honest opinion right now, I think it should be Sean Brady. I love Ian Gary, but from what I've heard about him ducking, and the fight was apparently signed for Vancouver. Not signed, but Sean Brady signed the fight. They were supposed to be the main event of UFC Vancouver. And Ian Gary said no. So I feel bad for Sean Brady. I really think he's getting screwed over in these negotiations, and it's not even his fault. It's like, what can you do when they give you someone and you want to fight him, but the guy doesn't want to fight you? I think Shavkat, obviously, he's like kind of like an Arman Sarukian right now, not because of the weight miss, but because of his injury. And it seems like the UFC is kind of putting him in the doghouse. So I don't know.
I don't know why, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Brady's been so impressive. Like,
he has been extremely impressive, and I really don't understand what they're doing with him. But at this rate, like at the rate it's trending currently, I don't think Shavkat's getting the next title shot.
He better not. He better not.
I really think right now, if Ian Gary was offered Sean Brady in Vancouver, I think Sean Brady should get the title shot. And I mean, he's been insanely impressive. And if he doesn't, I mean, I would love to see him fight Bilal again. I would love to see him fight Bilal again.
So what I think will happen now at welterweight is we're going to see Brady and Gary. I think that should be on a pay-per-view. I think that fight does.
Maybe MSG. Maybe Gary wants a bigger spotlight than Vancouver.
See, yeah, I was thinking MSG, but I think I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not like a huge Shavkat guy. Like I never have been. I picked Gary to beat Shavkat. I just don't like yeah, he's a good finisher, but in terms of like pure skill set,
he's just well-rounded.
I just don't think he's ever going to win the belt. Like I don't
jack of all trades, master of none.
And that's my problem. I think he's going to stay within that top 5. I don't think he's ever going to get the belt. It just won't happen. Good. But I do agree. Whoever between Brady, Gary, Shavkat will get the next title shot, and it'll be against Islam if he wins. If Islam loses, I want to see Kamaru Usman versus Islam Makhachev. I think that would be incredible.
Ridiculous.
I want to see that Islam versus Brady fight really bad. That would also be a stylistic, like, wow, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, Brady is good. And I think him going to Abu Dhabi to fight Bilal there, I don't know, like sometimes the travel and everything, you know, really messes with someone. And I'm not making excuses for him. And I'm sure Sean Brady is not he's not the type to make an excuse. But that did not look like Sean Brady. Like, first of all, Bilal finished him. When does he ever do that? I think that was his only TKO in his career. So yeah, but I would love to see that again if they're not going to give him a title shot, to let him avenge it, avenge that loss, because you were undefeated up until that point. So if it's like I said before, make yourself undeniable.
I think if you're doing Brady and Gary, I think you should do Bilal and Shavkat.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
And I think that should headline the Qatar card. That should be a 5-rounder. I just think that's the way it's going to shoot. Because, okay, if JDM loses to Islam, I still think JDM fights Kamaru. I think Kamaru takes on the loser of this title fight. I'll just put that out there. So whether it's JDM, whether it's
oh my God, JDM versus Kamaru would
JDM and Kamaru would be crazy. Either way, you've got a banger fight. It's one that Kamaru would take because he wants to fight up. He wants to get himself closer to a title shot. He should know he's not getting the next shot.
Yeah.
He does need one more just because of the layoff. But hey, man, I might pick Bilal over Shavkat. I'll say that. Over 5 rounds, I feel like Bilal might win.
Yeah, but I mean, also, we just saw, like, even though Bilal lost and kind of got smoked on the feet almost, he has hands. He was trying to show Canelo hands. Yeah, just you can't do that against JDM.
And also, no, Bilal was shooting on JDM, but that just speaks to how good JDM's takedown defense is, how good his scrambles are.
What I'm saying, it's going to be different. He's a different type of big.
I really think, like, I've already picked JDM to beat Islam. I think JDM beats Shavkat. I think he beats Brady would be tough. I think Brady and Kamaru are the tough fights for him. Just because there is a chance with how good Kamaru's wrestling is, weak knees and all, he could really just control JDM.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
if anyone's going to do it.
So does Brady. Brady has great boxing.
Yeah, Brady too. But I do honestly feel like JDM should still be a favorite in both of those fights.
Yeah. Plus 225 for JDM right now is looking juicy.
No, that's looking amazing. Is that on DraftKings or?
Yeah, DraftKings. I can check FanDuel too.
And obviously the missing picture to all this is Ilia Topuria. If Ilia wins, defends his lightweight title, whether it be Gaethje, Paddy, or Arman, and Islam loses to JDM, I think Islam will come back to 155, and I think he will go immediately into that title fight. I think he will be fighting Ilia Topuria. So everyone out there, root for Ilia and root for JDM, because Ilia is not moving up to welterweight. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, he's not.
And if
UFC feels like, it seems like they don't want him to do that at all.
Yeah, and obviously if Islam wins, he's going to stay at 170 permanently. There's no need for him to go back to 150.
Yeah, I feel like why not? You already bulked up. Why are you going to bulk back down and just
that makes no sense. Because he's at he's 190 right now walking. So
yeah, he's huge. He's pretty big.
He's gotten to welterweight.
But the scary thing is like JDM is probably at like almost 210.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh gosh, oh my, that's like two different beasts. Like I want to see with JDM walking weight. Let's see. Does Google know what it's talking about? Yeah, his.
Yeah, so Aaron Bronstetter just tweeted odds. So yeah, JDM plus 210, Islam minus 250. Zhang Weili a slight favorite over Valentina.
Ooh, let me check if any money just came in on DraftKings.
Valentina at plus 100.
If anyone who works at DraftKings is watching this, please sponsor us. I would love a sponsor. So.
But that's interesting, man. Both champions are dogs. And hey, I'm hammering both of them because one of them is gonna hit. I don't think Zhang Weili and Islam both win. I think one of them is gonna retain the title.
Okay, Shevchenko on DraftKings is minus 115. Weili is minus 105. So still a coin flip.
Still a coin flip. But you know where my money's leaning, obviously. Yes, but it should be really interesting. We're probably going to cap it off 1 hour and 1 minute, 37 seconds and counting. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. I know we said we have an episode coming out. We're working on it. We're going to get it out hopefully by the end of the weekend, maybe early next week. We'll aim for that. We got something fun coming, and then UFC Paris next week. Caio Borralho versus Nasruddin Imavov. I told y'all I'm so torn between this fight. I don't know who I'm picking. But you're going to get my pick next week. I'll find my way. I'll find a pick. But it should be a fun fight night all around. A lot of great fights on that card. And then we'll follow it up with Noche and business as usual. For Chris Schroyer, I'm Srikar and Chris. So long from the War Room. We're going to see you guys real soon. Peace.